Webb, if you come on up here, we'll get going.
I'm excited about my swag.
I know. I love how you guys get swag as I'm going out.
Figuring this out.
Okay.
Well, if I lose, I might.
Okay, would you, we'll call to order the Moore City Council meeting, May 6th. Would you call the roll, please?
Kathy Griffith,
Here,
Jason Blair,
Here.
Melissa Hunt, Louis Williams, Adam Webb,
Here.
Rob Clark,
Here.
Mark Ham.
Here. We are going to go to item C, proclamation declaring May 19th through 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week. I have a proclamation to read on behalf of our, all of our men and women in public works. We so appreciate all of their hard work in helping make our city function. It says, whereas works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital importance and sustainable and resilient communities, and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the community, and whereas public works personnel of the City of Moore are involved in the maintenance, planning, design, and construction of streets, transportation facilities, parks, playfields, open spaces, creeks, paths, storm drains, storm water treatment, public buildings, recycling operations, solid waste and environmental programs and facilities, right-of-way management, and emergency planning and response. And whereas, in the public interest of the citizens, civic leaders, and children and more, to gain knowledge and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works infrastructure and services, and whereas the year of 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore, I, Mark Ham, Mayor of the City of Moore, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week in the City of Moore, and urge all citizens to join in this salute and to pay tribute to our public works professionals and recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting our health, safety, and quality of life. Signed today, May 2024. Tony, if you come up and receive this. Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you.
It's not on there.
Oh, it isn't.
We're doing it.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you, Tony, and all of your team and the hard work that they do. But we forgot to do our Pledge of Allegiance, so I'm so sorry. Let's stand up and do that. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, item 2 is our consent docket. And we just need somebody to make a motion to approve items A through D.
Make a motion to approve consent docket items A through D.
second.
All right, we've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes,
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, passes. At this time, we'll recess the city council meeting and convene a public hearing. Item 3 is review, discuss, and receive citizen input and comments regarding the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget as required by Oklahoma statute section 17-208, 2023. Nobody signed up. Is there anybody here that would like to speak about the proposed budget? Okay, hearing none. We will now recess the public hearing and reconvene the city council meeting. Item 4 is consider adoption and resolution number 7524 pertaining to the general obligation bonds of 2024, approved by a majority of the qualified voters at an election held on November 14th, 2023, fixing the amount of bonds to mature each year, fixing the time and place of the bonds to be sold, and authorizing the clerk to give notice of said sale as required by law.
Mayor and council, this is the annual bond issue. The purpose of these bonds to be issued would be for panel replacement as passed by the voters in November of 2023, and then also to continue the design work on the other street projects that were also passed in November of 2023. Terry Hawkins and Chris Gander are here to answer any legal or financial questions regarding the issuance of these bonds. I recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, hearing no questions, we have a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. Item 5, at this time, we're going to receive the Pioneer Library System Annual Report from Executive Director Lisa Wells.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa, you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor and Council, thank you for this opportunity to visit with you this evening about your library. The City of Moore and Pioneer Library System have been partners in providing library service to this community since 1961. Libraries continue to be a hub where people find inspiration for innovation, engagement, and learning. Pioneer's values are welcome, inspire, respect, and I believe those values are ones the city shares with us. We're extremely excited, and we hope you share that excitement for the possibility of a new library facility, and we appreciate your participation in the various community engagement listening sessions. Our goal is, along with you as our partners, to provide positive experiences for all, and I believe the numbers and the comments that follow will showcase that this is happening and more. Inside your packet, I'm not going to read all this to you. I know there's some kind of weather that we're all anticipating, and so I'll give you the abridged version as any good librarian would do. But just some statistics that I do want to highlight on that first page. At the very bottom, you will see that the city population is 63,223, and we have 59,944 card holders that call the Moore Library their home location. I think our market penetration with library cards is really good, and that is really to the dedication of the staff that we have at Moore and the work that we're continuing to do. We have a community engagement platform, a software platform. It's called Savannah. It allows us to get a lot of data on customer behaviors and what people are coming to the library to do, as well as how many are re-engaged. We call re-engagement after someone has not used their card for 90 days, then we would re-engage them. So that's kind of the time period. And you can see that not only did we gain just in the 4 months in 2024, 744 new card members, but we saw 22,000 people come back and re-engage with their library card. So we know that that is really just a statement from the community that the library is important in what they're doing. We've had foot traffic of just over 140,000 customers in the 4 months that we've been open, and 800 residents have answered the survey, voicing their hopes for new library amenities through a survey that we issued in March. So clearly, the residents are engaged. On the back side of that, you will see that the Net Promoter Score for our Moore location is 86. We give you some things to compare that to. Net Promoter really tracks whether customers would recommend using the service or the product to their friends and family based on a score of -100 to 100. And we're very proud that the Moore Library is standing at an 86, and that's for the previous 12 months. I've given a couple of comments that come back from those Net Promoter Scores when people say they want to be contacted or they leave comments. That's there to share with you. And then on the next page, I want to talk a little bit about Pioneer's investment. We've been talking about, the the hope that there's a new facility, and that's clearly an investment that the City of Moore would be making. And we also wanted to share the ongoing investment that Pioneer, as the operator, is making. We currently have 39 staff at the Moore location, 18 full-time staff, 18 hourly staff, and 3 security officers. You can see there the salaries, payroll taxes, benefits, and then the addition of both the technology budget for that branch and the materials budget, and that's physical materials, is just a hair under $2.3 million. So we're happy to be contributing that in our ongoing effort as a partner with you all to provide that. We also, in addition to those physical books that we're buying for the library, we budget just under $2 million for electronic resources, and those may be digital books, downloadable magazines, audios, anything that's in a digital format. And then another $262,000 is budgeted for system-wide online resource tools, things like online tutoring for students, market segmentation data for businesses, and a lot of test prep and certification courses that you can take advantage of with your library card. You'll see the indirect expenses for Cleveland County. That is really just administrative staff, as well as some staff that part of their hours are charged to the Moore branch, and part of their hours are charged to the system because they have more than one location in their portfolio. I do think it's important for you all to know that we receive 75% of our income from Cleveland County, and we try to make sure that those resources are spent within the county that they are gathered. And we have a formula that we use to contribute to charge our administrative things and things that are for the whole system according to the percentage of revenue that comes from those counties. I want to just close before I give you an opportunity to ask questions. Last year, well, in 2018, we began collecting stories, customer stories, and we wanted basically to build a database of stories that we could use for advocacy purposes. And since that time, we've been selecting a story of the month. Staff submit those stories. There's a committee that chooses the story of the month, and then those 12 stories are entered basically into a competition, and there's a story of the year. So in 2023, the story of the year was a customer story from Moore, and I want to just tell you that story. One day, a customer, we'll call her Jane, came into the Moore Library carrying a stack of paperwork and documents and appeared distraught. Staff greeted her and had a very personal conversation about the woman's situation. Jane had come from a domestic violence situation and was feeling completely alone and unsure of her future. She had no family or friends in the area and was trying to apply for and secure an apartment and assistance with utilities. The Moore staff worked with her for over an hour, helping her create an email address, fill out, scan, and email the documents needed for her step closer to securing safe housing. She was in need of transportation to her new apartment, so staff gave her several lists of resources for older adults and those experiencing hardship. Not wanting to send Jane on her way without something tangible, staff contacted the Moore Social Services Coalition. Jane was quite emotional by this time and said she knew she had come to the right place and that she was grateful for the time staff had spent helping her. They shared a tearful goodbye as Jane gathered her things and made her way out. As she was leaving, she said, "You have a real angel back there." A couple of weeks later, a colleague from the coalition emailed staff to let them know that Jane had indeed contacted him, and not only had he gotten her moved to an apartment, but that people had donated a twin bed, a couple of tables, lamps, and cash with which they were able to get a Walmart gift card. She was also introduced to some young women who helped her acquire a coffee pot, cooking utensils, pots, pans, sheets, pillow, comforter, blanket, food items, and other items she needed immediately. He said she had just spoken with Jane and she was truly thrilled. Working together as a community, we helped Jane find safety, security, and hopefully showed her that even in the worst of times, she wasn't alone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. I know I had myself and Melissa, and I think probably everybody had an opportunity to meet with the architects this week and go over some of the possibilities, and it was exciting to see some of these drawings, and look forward to see what it might become. So thank you very much. Okay. That will move us to item 7. 6? Yes. Consider approval of library services. Y'all were just waiting for me to make a mistake. That's all right. Consider approval of library services, facilities, and maintenance agreement with Pioneer Library System for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Mayor and council, this is just the maintenance agreement that we have with the library system every year. No changes to it. Recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. Would you call the vote, please?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item carries. Item 7, consider approval of a new job description for a part-time program specialist in Parks and Recreation Department and assignment to pay grade 105 of the salary table approved by City Council June 20th, 2016, in accordance with the budget approved by City Council for fiscal year 23-24.
Mayor and Council, the Parks and Recreation Department is requesting your approval of the submitted draft for a new job description for a program specialist. The program specialist is slated to be the lead worker in both the youth and adult recreation programs and will be responsible for coordinating, leading, and monitoring a variety of these programs. The program specialist will also supervise facilities for these programs, including but not limited to science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and will report to and assist the program coordinator with supervising the summer day camp program. Staff recommends approval and placement of this budgeted part-time job description in pay grade 105 of the city's salary table as approved by council in 2016.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item carries. Item 8 is consider approval of a contract with Crawford and Associates in the estimated amount of $40,000 for preparation of the city's annual fiscal statements for fiscal year ended June 30th, 2024, and provide for financial department with financial services on special projects on an as-needed basis.
Mayor and Council, Crawford and Associates has been performing this function for us for the last several years, and we've been very pleased with their service. We recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
All right, a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Item 9 is consider authorizing the striping of Central Park parking lot, including both drives and parking stalls between each drive by Silver Star Construction utilizing the Public Works Maintenance Contract in the budget amount of $23,040.
Mayor and Council, this budgeted striping project will be completed during the night to avoid any vehicle traffic in the parking lots. Recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Item 10, consider approval of a revocable permit and hold harmless agreement for the installation of an electrical line in public right-of-way located at 2105 Northeast 15th Street, application by Darrell and Carl Winter.
Mayor and Council, several months ago, city staff was approached by Mr. Darrell Winter. He is the homeowner at 2105 Northeast 15th Street. He had a request to construct a lighted brick entryway columns within the public right-of-way on each side of his driveway. It was determined that although the brick columns are allowed to be placed in the right-of-way, but placing the private electrical lines and components in that right-of-way is not allowed. There's a couple reasons why we don't allow private utilities in the public right-of-way. First, opening the public right-of-way for private utilities does set a precedent for others within not only the Lost Creek neighborhood, but the city-wide, to place not just private electric lines, but really any other private utility a homeowner wishes. The applicant contends that there are already many lights, lighted entryway columns in his neighborhood in the public right-of-way. City staff did drive through the Lost Creek neighborhood at night. There's two parts of the neighborhood. One is a public right-of-way and one is a private streets and private right-of-way. In the public right-of-way, there were only 3 properties that we identified that had electric lights, lines within the public right-of-way. All the other lighted driveways in the public right-of-way were powered by solar. Secondly, placing private utilities within the public right-of-way does complicate and delay any public utility and construction projects. It would require a relocation or other mitigation measures to be taken whenever those private lines are found. It should be noted that any of these private lines are not covered by the Call Okie program. So whenever utilities dig in the public right-of-way, they do rely on those lines being marked to know what they're going to encounter. These would not be marked. So staff did propose 2 options that would allow the lighted brick columns. And both of these options were either compliant or closer to being compliant in the public right-of-way. But neither of these options were acceptable to the applicant. The first was to use solar lighting instead of the wired lighting. That would be the preferred option. The second option would be to extend the brick columns to the property line and enclose all of the conduit within the columns, and this would eliminate the chance of an unintentional severing of the lines when digging was happening. It's also important to know that the Winners have an ongoing disagreements with neighbors to the east. City staff does field regular open records requests and complaints on any and all development on each other's properties. There is a concern that by allowing one party a special exception, that it could escalate into the other party also requesting special exceptions. And that this would basically insert the city further into this neighbor dispute. We do recommend denial of this application due to its precedent-setting nature, but also because of the dangers and delays that could come as a result of this request. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry, quick question. So the other columns that have lights running to them, they are solar in that neighborhood?
We only identified 3 that were powered by electrical lines. We don't have any permits for those 3. We don't know exactly when they were installed, but they did not come to the city through the regular process. So the regular process would be something like a revocable permit, and we have never approved a revocable permit for anything in the right-of-way. All of our revocable permits have been in utility easements, which does make a difference because at this time we know what utilities are going to be in those easements.
So the 3 that are there, do we believe that the utilities run in the right-of-way?
Yes, that's what we believe, although we don't know for sure.
Okie Dave doesn't mark them because they're private?
That's correct.
And so if we say no today, would the 3 that are currently doing it be subject to removing their lines?
That would be up to council. We struggle with this reality in our line of work that not everybody goes to the proper channels to get things accomplished. And sometimes they appear over, the weekend. And I liken it a lot to the police department. They have codes that set speed limits. They may not catch everybody who goes over the speed limit, but the people that they do catch, they, will write tickets and try to rectify the issue. That doesn't mean that we can't continue to ticket people. It just means that some people were caught and some weren't. Same thing with the building code. We have fences all over town that didn't pull permits. Some may not comply with the code, since permit code, but as a city, we have to, kind of accept reality and and move on and just make sure that we try to get as many as we can to comply.
So I'm assuming that two of the biggest reasons is the setting a precedent
Yes.
that we could eventually end up with multiple lines that would not be detected,
Yes.
which would lead to the second part, maybe causing injury to those that may be digging on the.
Yes, injuries and delays. I mean, as you could, we've already seen what's happened on Eastern Avenue with lines that were not known to be there. So, obviously this is a residential street. It certainly doesn't rise to that level of complexity of a project. But, anyone who's wanting to use the right-of-way, any of the fiber utilities that are now coming in for that type of utility, I mean, they could experience delays and start asking questions as to why these private utilities are in the right-of-way.
Nobody has signed up to speak on this. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to
The
this?
applicant wanted-
Is the applicant here? If so, would you like to say anything? Yes, sir. Yes. Just state your name and address for the record.
Daryl Winter.
You have 5
I
minutes.
reside at 2105 Northeast 15th Street here in Moore. It's Lost Creek Edition. I have some pictures to hand out.
Yeah, just feel free to pass those out.
Thank you.
As was mentioned, this has been an ongoing saga, and I don't deny that I've had some friction with our neighbors, but I hardly see how that has anything to do with this. I did consult with an electrician early on. I'm a retired PE, but as was pointed out to me, that doesn't make me a licensed electrician. But at any rate, I consulted with a licensed electrician, did get a permit for the electrical. I've put the conduit in concert with a new driveway. The very first picture is my home. The driveway is about a month old, and in concert with that pour, we put a 3/4 inch conduit run, and they're stubbed out on either side of the driveway at the approach. Now, the pictures there are pictures I just went down the neighborhood and took pictures. Initially, I was told by the city officials that I couldn't even have brick pedestals. That's been relented apparently, as long as it didn't include the electrical. I live on a cul-de-sac. The street light didn't work the first year that we lived there. We've been there for just slightly over 2 years. Been a resident of Moore for over 48. And so I wanted to have the lights so that we might avoid the folks going in the wrong driveway, or worse yet, driving into the mailbox. You'll see that every home in the neighborhood has a brick mailbox. I myself have a sprinkler system, so I don't know. It appears that maybe this decree of right-of-way is. Even I spoke with Miss Hunt, and she came to my home, and I gave her a tour of the neighborhood. She was confused as to why this would be a problem as well. She told me she wouldn't be here tonight, but that she would speak to those of you that she could to relay any details. With that, I'll answer any questions you might have.
Are you the last home without any columns? Or are there other homes in your neighborhood without columns up front?
Everyone has approximately a 2x2 mailbox. That's standard, about 95 homes in the addition.
Okay.
The ones that I took pictures of have multiple pedestals on either side. One home has 4 pedestals, one for driveway and one just for aesthetics. My situation is I've moved into the home, added brick walls, across the gate, and the requested columns at the entry of my driveway are to match the ones that you can see in that picture on down the line on either side of the gate. So they're just 1 foot by 1 foot columns. And there'll be about 2 foot between them and a little brick connecting, and that would be it. The lights will be on a 20 amp circuit with a timer, and the receptacles for Christmas lights will be on a GFI receptacle. These all been approved by my electrician as far as adherence with code.
Right. And Elizabeth mentioned earlier that they gave the option for solar lights. If you don't mind me asking, what, do you like the solar, or do you not like the option?
As a matter of fact, my next project is to put solar panels on top of my building that's 40 by 60 so that I can do some damage to that $800 a month electric bill I have. So I'm not, I don't find solar distasteful. However, you had to have the panel there. So you got lights and you got to somehow affix a panel on there, and I just thought that would be a problem. And you don't have sun at night, so the lights are when these are important. So
I don't know how the solar works, but I was just curious.
Excuse me, sir?
I said, I apologize, don't know how solar works. I was just curious with.
Well, I'm not sure I'd be one. I'm not going to quit my day job on that myself. But I do like the fact that solar is available as an alternative to power supply alternatives. It's just that I know that I was going to put some lights around my building, and then when I looked at what was required to collect the solar energy for those lights, they become too cumbersome looking, because you've got to place those and make them look like they were part of the design. I didn't incorporate that.
Thank you.
So Elizabeth, the only issue, he could, have these pictures that he's provided, have you seen those? So, okay, so for example, there's some that they have I guess the decorative entrance columns on either side. We don't have a problem with that. The homeowners understand, though, that it is utility or city right-of-way, so that could possibly be torn down, but they understand that. The issue that the city has is running an electrical wire to the lights in the right-of-way. And how far back from the right-of-way would those columns need to be set where he could run a wire?
I think I can answer that question. According to when my electrician went to complete the permit, he was told 17 feet.
Well, that's the total width of the right-of-way, is 17 feet.
Okay.
So from the picture that he's provided on page 125, I mean, it appears as if it might have to extend the brick columns in one area back maybe another 2 feet, if it's to scale. In another area, it might be another 3 feet.
So 2 to 3 feet.
From the roadway?
I mean, that's the way it looks to me if this drawing is to scale.
It would be considerably more than that. I understand that you don't know it like I know it, but it's more than 2 feet. 17 feet back is 2 sections of concrete plus the approach. So the footing that has currently been poured by my concrete guy, thinking that it was incorporated in his permit, would have to be dismantled and re-poured back 17 foot. Then you would have these entries 17 foot off the street. There's not a house in the place that has that kind of a setback.
So what work have you already done for this project?
Well, the driveway, and I found out from the licensed electrician that on the side of the driveway, they're to be planted at least 18 inches deep, according to code.
So
And
you
then when
poured the foundation already?
It's the driveway.
Okay.
Did that in concert. As he poured a section, I'd lay the conduit.
Okay.
And then when we got to the approach, it's 24 inches across. So it's 24 inches for the up conduit for the adjoining. So basically, I never envisioned that this would be an issue, and I suspect that it wouldn't had we not had some issues brewing with our neighbors, but it is what it is.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you coming and to, kind of try to do it the right way. I think we have a lot of questions still, and I don't know, this is a first for me, so I don't know what the protocol would be. Is there any way that it could possibly be tabled so that we could look at it a little bit more?
Yeah, you just have to make a motion to table the item, and then someone would have to second it.
I think, so for me, if we say no, 3 people have already done it. So I do have the question of, are we gonna go back and tell them to move the wire if we say no here? But if we say no here, definitely no one else can do it. So is this gonna be policed? Because I understand the analogy of someone speeding, but at the same time, if we can go by and see the quote unquote, city ordinance being violated right in front of us actively, then whoever does it in the future can't do it either. We're gonna have to have them dismantle it. So if we say no here, so I think that we need to be clear with expectations going forward and try to, be as fair as possible about this, because we already have 3 offenders active, and nothing's happening. That's kind of my take on it. And so either we can table it and think of it further, but I think whatever decision we make, if we want to make it tonight, we need to note those 2 things. There are 3 people already doing it, and we need to make sure no one else does it going forward for sure, whether they come to us or not.
I would like to make one more comment, and my driveway is 6 inches throughout. It's typically 4. I expect a 6-inch thick driveway with steel. So the side entrance of conduit, that's not something I'd like to do, but it's getting across a 12-foot wide concrete at 1224 down would be the kicker to revise this at this point.
Okay, so is there any other discussion? Anybody else want to speak? And then we need to decide, do we want to vote tonight or table or what?
I'll make a motion to table it,
Till the next council meeting or?
next council meeting.
Okay,
I'll second it if we want to do that. Are you guys, is that?
I'm curious kind of what we're looking for.
I think I want to make sure that, since we have, at least my opinion of 1 of 7 of us, is just, it bothers me that there's 3 people already doing it and we're not going to do anything about it. And if he wouldn't have come to us, he could have gotten away with it.
Well, now, Elizabeth made the comment that would be brought back before that we could decide, what to do about that. I think those 2 things stand alone, they're separate. But,
I just want to make sure we're fair going forward on however we handle this. So,
okay, well, we've had a motion to table and a second, so would you call the vote, please?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
yes.
Adam Webb,
yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item is tabled. So, Mr. Winter, did he leave?
He's there.
Okay, so it'll just be on the next agenda for next meeting. Item 11 is consider authorizing the budgeted purchase of a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT Crew Cab 4x4 3.5 EcoBoost 145-inch WB Oxford White from Bob Moore Ford in the amount of $49,800 using state contract number SW035.
Mayor and Council, this is a budgeted purchase to replace an old truck with transmission problems and all kinds of problems that we have. Will be for Public Works.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. Item 12 is consider approval of a contract with Precision Concrete Cutting for trip hazard assessment and horizontal saw cutting and shaving services at various sidewalk locations throughout the city in the amount of $76,757.76 using the TIPS contract, the interlocal purchasing system number 23010401.
Mayor and Council, we currently have about 283 miles of sidewalks throughout the city. And there are several locations that have trip hazards throughout the city. And some of the offsets range from a 1/4 inch to about 3 or 4 inches. And the most effective way we found to be able to deal with these trip hazards less than 2 inches is to go in and shave them off instead of replacing them. We can save up to 70% of the cost if we do R&R. But this will enable us to be able to go in and shave off the offsets and still meet ADA requirements and not compromise the structural integrity of the concrete.
I've seen this done already at Veterans Park, and it did great.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Has your staff gone out and surveyed all of the sidewalks, or are you just relying on citizen?
The contractor is doing that. He's doing the assessments, and then he's giving us a report.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing more. This is just the beginning, so we'll be doing more as more funds become available.
All right, thank you.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote, please?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item passes. Item 13 is consider approval of ordinance number 105324, amending Part 15, Chapter 9, Section 15-901 of the Moore Municipal Code by adding language, a public or private road or driveway, providing for repealer and providing for severability.
Mayor and Council, this amendment to 15901, adding language, a public or private road or a driveway, simply adds clarification to the ordinance and keeps us in line with the state statute. I would recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. This time, we're going to recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item 14 is the consent docket.
Make a motion, we approve items A and B.
Second.
Docket.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. We'll recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item 15 is the consent docket.
Make a motion, we approve items A and B of the consent docket.
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. You call the vote, please.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, item passes. We'll recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and convene the city council meeting. Item 16 is new business. Item A is citizens forum. Items not on the agenda. Anybody here want to speak about anything about pertaining to city government? No? Items from city council, trustees, council, anyone?
Is this a time that I can give a shout out to somebody in our, on the, last month on the, I think it was the 24th, we brought a group of kids from Moore High School, their Business Professionals of America group, and Deidre Ebery and her department planned an event for us to come and tour the city. The fire department, the police department, emergency management. They fed us lunch, and they also gave us an opportunity to ask questions. And to sum it up, the kids didn't want to go home. So I just wanted to give a shout out, appreciate the hospitality, and we're looking forward to doing it again.
Very nice.
Thanks, Deidre.
Great. That's wonderful.
Good job.
Anyone else have something?
Nope.
Adam?
No?
Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. Brooks, how about you? Do you have anything, item C?
Mayor and council, this last week, the legislature passed an amendment to the sales tax reduction on the grocery on the state portion. The way the original language was written, it caused some concern amongst the municipalities as to how that would apply to a renewal, which it would impact us on our quarter-cent sales tax that's up for renewal this November. They fixed that this past week. It's now gone to the governor, so I would just like to thank Senator Darrell Weaver for all of his help getting that done. He brought that to his attention, and he took the ball and ran with it and was a great help.
Great.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it for sure. Thank you very much. Item 17 is going to be executive session. Section 307, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes permits the public body to meet in executive session for certain specified reasons, under certain specified conditions. It's the opinion of the city attorney that the city council may consider and adopt a motion to meet in executive session to discuss the following items. Item A is discuss, consider, and if deemed appropriate, consider taking possible action regarding pending claim filed by Michon Law Office on behalf of Amanda Bedard against the city of Moore, and authorization for legal counsel and staff to take action as necessary and appropriate in the interest of the city of Moore as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statute Section 307B4. Item B is discuss, consider, and if deemed appropriate, consider taking possible action regarding case number CJ-2023-1524 filed in Cleveland County by Monty Kane on behalf of Jerry Webb against the city of Moore, and authorization for legal counsel and staff to take action as necessary and appropriate in the interest of the city of Moore as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statute Section 307B4. And item C is consider approval of fiscal year 2024-2025 contract between the city of Moore and the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 131, as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statute Section 307B2. And item D is consider approval of a fiscal year 2024-25 contract between the city of Moore and the International Firefighters Local 2047 as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statute Section 307B2.
Make a motion, we convene to executive session.
Second.
Would you call the vote, please?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, we'll be in executive session.
Too bad.
Thank you.
Okay, item F is reconvene from executive session. Everybody that was here is still here. And item G is the action that we need to take. Let's go with item A first.
Make a motion to deny.
Deny the claim.
Item,
You sure?
A,
A. Item A is to deny the tort. Yeah, make a motion to deny, please.
Second.
okay, we've had a motion and a second for item A. Would you call the vote?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item B, what's the action?
Make a motion for staff to proceed as directed.
Second?
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Item carries. Item C,
Make a motion to approve the contract.
Second?
we've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
And yes. Did you say my name?
Mark Ham.
Did you? Yes. And item D,
Make a motion to approve the contract.
Second?
we've had a motion and a second. Would you call the vote?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes. Okay, item 18 is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Would you call the vote?
Kathy Griffith,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Adam Webb,
Yes.
Rob Clark,
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.